Now, this is getting a lot of traction on Twitter, and people are claiming that this is from the new James Bond book. Unfortunately, I can't fact check it because I don't have the book myself, but I did ask several people and they confirmed it. So if I'm being punked, let me know in the comment section. But this isn't a video in order to make a review of the book. This is a video in order to make a review of just how atrocious and bad modern writing has become. When people say that we are sick and tired of politics being injected into art, the counter argument is that, well, everything is political. So they use the word political in the most broad sense imaginable, and then when they write it in the most narrow sense imaginable. And people do not like the narrow sense of political that is being injected into everything. So I will read from you the page 37 from this book, and you can see for yourself why people hate it. So, initially put out by the Soviets just after the war to celebrate the release of Hungary from German occupation and its new status as a Soviet satellite state, the statue was a woman holding a giant palm leaf above her head. Neither Nazi Germany nor Soviet Russia had been welcomed here, though. They were two sides of the same dirty, debased coin. After the Hungarians had kicked out their Soviet overlords, the statue was changed to an old person personification of liberty, and now it celebrated freedom from the whole damn lot of them. So far, there's nothing controversial, like you can be a Republican or a Democrat and read this and you're not going to be upset. You can be a Tory or a Labour supporter. I mean, this is just establishing the history of Hungary. It's very difficult to find someone that will feel insulted by this. But as we keep reading, right, so up until this point is like politics in the most broad sense of the word, right? And now we're going to see politics in the most narrow sense of the word. Which is why Bond felt a deep sense of gloom that this beautiful, civilized, orderly country had been dragged back towards the far right by Viktor Orban, using the crude but effective nationalist playbook, stirring Hungarians up with his anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and crude make Hungary great again, anti-immigration rhetoric. He'd aligned himself with the likes of Trump and Le Pen and Putin, and just like them, he was using a paper-thin front to patriotism to mask rampant self-interest. If you are a person that is a national in Europe, this book is vile and offensive. You are alienating more than half of your actually you're alienating almost every single Hungarian person. You're alienating French people that are on the right wing. You're alienating almost everyone that's not a far leftist with this really dumb take. So first of all, comparing Viktor Orban with Hitler, it's such a disingenuous comparison. Viktor Orban, he's got a lot of flaws. I mean, in Eastern Europe, corruption runs amok, and he is a very corrupt individual. But to compare him with Hitler is intellectually dishonest. It shows that the writer not only doesn't understand history, but he is so arrogant that he thinks that using his book is going to actually lecture to people. The problem with Hitler and the Nazis, as viewed from the Eastern European perspective, is that number one, they were stealing people's property. I know that for the left now, it's like, oh, well, human life is more important than private property. No one likes it when someone takes their business away, when someone takes their land away, when someone takes your livelihood away. Okay, like that was number one issue. And this is due to the fact that a person without livelihood cannot sustain themselves. You are condemning them to a slow death. And if that wasn't enough, they were condemning people to a fast death as well. I mean, we all know what the Nazis did. But so did the Soviets. The Soviets, for instance, did the Katyn massacre in Poland. They committed a lot of atrocities in Eastern Europe. At least the author has the common decency of explaining the fact that they were two sides of the same coin. But the problem with the Nazis and the Soviets isn't the fact that they had borders or that they were promoting a version of nationalism, because almost every country around the earth and throughout mankind's history up until recently were also having borders and were promoting nationalism. The problem with the Soviets, as well as the Nazis, was that they were trying to get into every single aspect of a person's life. They were trying to destroy the concept of privacy. They were instigating the concept of thought policing. They were deciding what books people are allowed to read, what ideas people are allowed to share. They were deciding what the press was allowed to print. That was the problem. To compare that with Viktor Orban is to water down what the Nazis and the communists did to Eastern Europe. It is incredibly offensive for an Eastern European to see that you are comparing a person that's elected by its people, which is Viktor Orban, you're comparing him with what the communists used to do, or what the Nazis used to do. You're basically watering down their crimes. It is disgusting. And then, he goes on and he says that Trump is a problem, and of course, patriotism is an issue. In this uncertain world, the age of lure of strong men held an irresistible appeal to all those who felt left behind and bewildered by change. Well, is it a good change though? Like, of course, change can be good, but it can also be bewildering. Like, for example, if in your house a water pipe breaks down, and now you have a flood, I mean, that is a change, and most people will be bewildered by it. It's not a good thing. Like this communist mentality that all change is good and progress is always great. A cancer progresses, right? Like when you ask someone, like, what is the progress of your cancer? That's not good. I mean, if you look at most of these progressive places that do not vote for the likes of Viktor Orban or Donald Trump, you look at California, you look at the fentanyl epidemic in the United States, you look at the riots that France recently benefited from, you look at all these other things, they never get criticized for some reason, they never get brought up to any type of scrutiny. They are viewed as if, I guess it's like a rain, like a force of nature. It comes and it goes, and we can't do anything about it, we can't talk about it, we can't address it. I mean, it's just how nature operates, right? Apparently, Bond had no love for autocrats. Again, like, you're watering down the definition of an autocrat. Viktor Orban is a democratically elected leader. Same with Donald Trump. He actually won the elections. It is interesting to call Donald Trump an autocrat and then to say that you can't question the recent elections in the United States. But this is my point, right? Like, this is why people do not like modern writing. Like, first of all, there's a lot of spelling mistakes in this, which is unacceptable for a modern book. Marie Le Pen spelled with two N's, there's a lot of them. They don't even care, right? Like, they're using James Bond as a sock puppet. They're using James Bond like a VTuber. And the author is just sitting behind, spewing his political garbage onto people who are more intelligent than he is. And this is why it's offensive. Because if you happen to like James Bond in the past, and you just enjoyed, okay, he's going to this island in the middle of nowhere, and he's using this laser pen in order to stop Doctor Doom from destroying the world. It's a show that's relaxing, right? Like, you're watching it, taking some popcorn. If you're a woman, you like to see how charismatic and beautiful the actor that plays Bond is. If you're a man, you get to enjoy the ushikushi lady that he is seducing. And then you get to see a little bit of conflict and some drama, and it's entertaining, right? It's relaxing. That's the whole fucking point. There's no discussion about Putin and Trump or, whoever other world leader was during the release of the previous movies. Like, if you watch Goldfinger, did you know who was the leader of, France during that period? No, because, like, it's never addressed. Right? Like, they keep away from politics. They don't want to churn away the person that purchases a ticket. If the person that purchases a ticket is a commie, is a American liberal, is a Republican, is a conservative from the UK, doesn't fucking matter. His money is what you want, right? But no, like, it's obvious that this author is not writing books for everybody. He's writing books for a very exclusive club, which is people who think like him. People that are into the far left political ideology. And everyone that's not like that is going to not enjoy this book. And the way that they make marketing is that now people are going to go on Twitter, like myself. They're going to complain about this, and you're going to have the actual communists with various symbols and paraphernalia in their bio attacking you for complaining. And then you get the book trending. That's the shtick. That's the new marketing. Very disgusting. The best marketing would be if you'd actually write a good book. But I don't think any writers are capable because of that. And luckily, ChatGPT is coming to replace them. This is why I genuinely do not care I unironically do not care. If you're a good writer, you have nothing to fear from AI. But if this is your level of writing, I pity you. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.